Hello, Facebook Nation. I am Stacie Koroly with the Stacie Koroly Real Estate Team in Chester County. And every week we have tried to spotlight two different companies a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, whether it be maybe even a teacher, not a company, small businesses and restaurants. And with me today, I'm really excited and a little nervous because we have a staple in our Malvern community. And by that, I mean Jim Rapp, who is the chief of the fire department of Malvern. Jim, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm thrilled. So one of the things that I love about our community and Malvern Borough, I always feel like it's like living in Cheers. Everybody knows your name. The community is very tight. It's very popular now. And Jim, you have been a lifelong resident. And why don't you just talk about real quickly what it's been like to see over the decades your town of Malvern grow into what it is today?
Well, I remember when all the storefronts were closed on Sundays, and now they're closed every day.
Oh my gosh.
It's really grown into a community. It's always been home to our family. I'm third generation firefighter with my grandfather and my father.
Wow.
We watched it grow and actually participated in the growth of it. My father was on council, and my grandfather was also involved with the fire company and took various assignments around the borough as far as on the committees and stuff like that.
That is incredible. Third generation firefighter. Thank you so much for your service. And today it's totally different, isn't it? So why don't you explain to me and to everybody that's watching now how you've shifted as a fire department? And part of it is you have paid firefighters and volunteers, correct?
That's correct. We're a combination department. We have four full-time paid staff and 23 part-time staff members. They're trained as paramedics, firefighters, EMTs, and they also have responsibility of driving the apparatus. We have close to 40 volunteers. Of that, probably 25 are more active.
Okay, and if someone wants to, so I have an 18-year-old son, Joe, and husband, Joe. So if someone wanted to volunteer, what is the age limit that they start at? And what's the training program like?
So our minimum age is 16, but we have an Explore program, which is a joint venture with the Boy Scouts of America, where we teach anyone from the age of 14 to 21 in our program about careers in firefighting, EMS, emergency management, and that, because of COVID, has come to a halt as far as meetings. But we have 10 active members in that program. But if you just want to join the fire company, you could start at the age of 16. And there are various programs available, junior firefighting program, that they can go through and become support folks. At the age of 18, you can take Interior Firefighting 1 and all the hazardous materials recognition classes, CPR, we train that. And it roughly takes about, I want to say, a little over 100 hours.
Wow.
For the initial training to become an interior firefighter.
Wow, that is incredible. Okay, so one of the things with our fire departments in general is that they depend upon donations. And two of the biggest things that we have for the Malvern Fire Department is, number one, the Malvern Fair, which is a huge success. It's usually in July. And we'll see some pictures here. I love this. Like, again, it's like small town Americana. That's one of the reasons why I love this town. The Malvern Fair that you guys put on is excellent. And unfortunately, that has been canceled for this year, along with a golf outing. But with this Malvern Fair, I mean, that brought in how much money, Jim?
The fair, if we have a great week of weather, could bring us close to $45,000.
Okay, so that's a large
The
bulk
golf,
of your donations, right?
yes, that's correct. The golf outing, we're probably making about $15,000. We
Okay.
also have some other revenue generating, which has been canceled due to COVID, is Radnor Races. We provide
right.
EMS support for that program, and that could bring us in as a little over $6,000 to $8,000. So a lot of our public fundraising has been, we've just canceled the fair, and we found out that a lot of the fairs, local fire company fairs, church fairs, have been canceled all the way up through September with some of the ride providers.
Okay, and please stay, everybody that's watching now, we're also going to talk at the end, all the different ways that you can donate to the Malvern Fire Department and help them, knowing that we're not going to have the Malvern Fair or the golf outing or the Radnor Hunt races this year, because this is a vital, essential, extremely essential part of our government that we need. We need you guys, and we're going to figure out how to donate at the end. And let's talk about the different things that you're doing now for the community that people may not even know about.
Well, we've actually quarantined our firehouse just to the paid staff to minimize the exposure rate. We're working with our partners through the county and the state as far as the recommended preventive maintenance procedures we have to put in place, what special equipment and PPE that our frontline EMS staff have to wear on a daily basis. There is a procedures we have in place that the staff carry out as far as cleaning the station, keeping it totally free of any exposure issues. The other is the use of PPE. Now our supplies they're stable right now, but we've accepted donations from our community partners, and even our folks in the community have dropped off N95 masks. And it's a major undertaking going from call to call, and it's quite stressful on our first responders. There is our board, we did get approved for a CARES Act grant, which will help subsidize some of the salaries, supplies, utilities, fuel for the vehicles related to this COVID response. There is a support team in Chester County. The Critical Incident Management Support Team they're doing weekly calls now as far as to give our frontline responders support through the process. They're taking every precaution as far as any type of response. We are now on the fire side. Any response, the first in officer, he's wearing a regular cloth mask or isolation mask, goes and evaluates it very quickly to make sure there's no potential exposure at the site. And then the firefighters will then go into action. So there's a lot of preventive measures we have up front, both prior to the call, during the call, and even afterwards, putting equipment back in service.
Oh my gosh, like how much time, more time and effort does it take you to do something that you took for granted before this COVID?
It fills their day, and on every shift. They go through the equipment inspections. They'll go through supply inventory. We do report that up through the county, just that they keep track of our burn rate so that if additional supplies are needed, we know what our minimum we could go down to. So we've gotten a lot of support from some Foundation 58 sent cleaning supplies to the station. Through the CARES Act, we went in with 11 of the departments, both fire, EMS, and law enforcement, for additional supplies. So it roughly, we invested another $6,000 so far just on personal protective equipment.
What would you say to people that are watching? What is the biggest thing that you need, that Malvern or any fire department needs today? Would it be donations, masks? Like what would you ask for?
Donations, as far as we have to recover from this, to get back to what will be the new normal.
Right.
That will help us with our operating expenses.
Okay.
Fundraising is just a percentage. Our townships and municipalities do allocate funds for our operating expenses. The rest is our subscription service for our EMS service is now out. And I know people are taking a tough toll with being out of work, but we just ask that they remember us as we move ahead. But it's going to be tough to recover from this. We're waiting on the federal government and the state government to come up with additional funding that we can apply for to help offset this cost.
Okay, so good. This is a great screen for us to talk about right now, Jim. So there's all different ways that we can donate, whether it's money, which is number one. If you can do that, that's awesome. They're also looking for surgical masks and the N95 masks, face shields, isolation gowns, cleaning, disinfectant. Listen, everybody can get this at Target. The disinfectant wipes, the cleaners, the hand sanitizer. These guys need this. They are definitely essential. If not, like they're the top of the top. They're essential. We need them. You can go on the Malvern Fire Co. website and donate money that way. You can donate through PayPal. So we're going to circle back again on how to donate. Let's talk about what you've been doing these past couple of weeks, because I saw this on Facebook and I could not believe it. It was a horse rescue. So we have some pictures of that. Jim, why don't you tell us what happened and how you rescued a horse that probably weighs a ton?
Actually, 1,300 pounds.
Or 1,300.
It got out of the barn and accidentally got into the backyard of the residence and had fallen into the pool. It broke through the pool cover with its hindquarters and was stuck there. The young lady in the picture, she's the owner. She kept the horse calm. At the time of dispatch, we requested assistance from Chester County's large animal rescue team out of Unionville.
Okay.
And so we formulated a plan. The veterinarian showed up the same time the large animal rescue team showed up. And we slid the horse out on a large sled.
Okay.
Out into the open paddock, and with the help of the veterinarian, she had sedated her, and it told us we had 15 minutes to get her out. We had her out in 12. I mean, it was a successful rescue all around.
It could have easily, like I laugh when you think of a horse, like, oh, wandered out and fell on top of a pool cover. It easily could have been catastrophic, and that horse could have drowned under the pool cover. How many people did it take to pull the horse out?
There were teams from Malvern, Goshen Fire Company, and Station 36 Pomar Lynn. Also on scene was some Willstown Township municipal workers. The Township Police Department were there helping us out. So it was roughly about 40 members from three different companies and 3 other organizations that assisted with this. It took a little over an hour to get her out.
So start to finish, I mean, you have 4 different fire companies, 40 different men and women helping this one homeowner with her horse. Imagine, you know, there are funds that you guys need. That was one job that you just did that required the help of 40 different people. What else are you doing during this time, during the pandemic?
Well, we have a joint venture with Malvern Police Department, birthday drive-bys. We've done about 12 so far, just in Malvern Borough and a few in Willstown. And as kids are getting stuck at home and having to celebrate their birthday just with their families, not with their friends, is police and fire trucks coming by. It was a big hit on quite a few of these adventures.
It's awesome. sorry, it makes people's day. I mean, kids, they'll never forget, number one, this birthday during a pandemic, but the fact that the firemen and the police came out to celebrate and make that day so special. That's awesome. It's incredible. It's a happy story. It's great.
We also participated in Healthcare Workers Appreciation Night, both at Paley Hospital and Bryn Mawr Rehab.
That's incredible. And I think we may have a picture of that, of all the different fire companies and police driving through Bryn Mawr Rehab, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's see if we have that. Look at this. This is what community is all about, people. All these people coming together, supporting each other, going to Bryn Mawr Rehab, and just driving by. It sounds silly, you know, oh, we drove by. You've no idea how much that means to people during this time, especially when people are going stir crazy now. Okay, so we did Bryn Mawr, I think. You also work and help out with the General Wayne Fair. And has that also been canceled?
Yeah, with the school year canceled.
It's devastating. People usually think singularly, like, in my business, I can't sell houses, and that's it. And when I get to talk to people like you or teachers, and you see how much you're being affected in your job and how important it is, it's really an eye-opener. And I want to go back to how people can donate now. A direct donation. You can go on the website and then click on PayPal and post it. You can do something like Amazon Smile, which I never heard of before. Amazon Smile, so you can donate to your charity, which would be Malvern Fire Company. There's also an ambulance subscription drive, so people can subscribe to that. And then also, last but certainly not least, donation list, PPE, things that are needed. This is really important. I'd like to say I'm going to donate after we're done $100, and my goal is really to donate to you guys every month as a homeowner in Malvern Borough. I can't thank you guys enough because it's not only what you do for the community on a daily basis during this time. You put your lives on the line anyway. Okay, so during this time, wearing the masks and doing a job that now takes 10 times the amount of time, I appreciate it. I know other people appreciate it. Doing drive-bys that make everybody feel good, whether it's for a little kid and their birthday or going to Bryn Mawr Rehab, it's incredible. We appreciate you. And is there anything that you would like to tell people, either whether it be safe or maybe something that they can do for their own families?
Well, continue to practice social distancing, no matter where you go, whether it's a food store, Wawa, gas station, wherever you shop. Just be mindful of the folks next to you. Wear a mask at all times and constantly wash your hands. That will get us back to zero, is proper prevention measures. And if we are reminded of our fellow community members, we've also had some generous donations from the restaurants and from J. Scott Catering. He fed 45 meals to our local first responders.
Wow.
Christopher sent down casserole dish to our paid staff on duty. We've had donations from some Sunday morning club, it's called, they leftover, I wouldn't call them leftover, they were delicious. Girl Scout cookies, just to keep our upbeat. We've gotten cards, letters from the kids out in the community. So there is a genuine sense there of support for us from a lot of the stores and a lot of the businesses.
Awesome, awesome. So again, thank you, J. Scott Catering. Thank you, Sunday Morning, and also Christopher's for helping out our first line of defense and our fire department and police department. Jim, again, thank you. You're doing an incredible job for our community. And I know I can speak for everybody when I say thank you so much. And please donate.